What is up, guys? Man, I got a 2010 Nissan Rogue, and today we're dropping the engine cradle because common issue with these bushings that go bad, and they can really throw you off if you don't take your time and diagnose a clunking noise properly on this type of cars, because these do go bad. Um, the good thing about it is uh, it comes independent of the engine. The engine is supported regardless. So, that's one support in the back, but the rest of the engine has mounts and it looks to be solid. I've seen the procedure online, and yeah, but anyway, not a whole lot to it. Very straightforward. You don't have to, again, to support the engine. If you choose to on top with a brace, that's probably safer because you don't probably know you may not trust the state of the mounts. I understand that. My control arms got kind of stuck at the ball joints. Otherwise, they would come down with the subframe, so I had to release the control arm from the cradle side. Now it's easier for me now to deal with the ball joints. Trying to extract them because I got some new parts. CV axles, sway bar links, control arms, and of course the bushings. I got the doorman from the store. Anytime I've had doorman says OE fix, it's been all right for some reason. So this one says this was an OE fix for this bushing. So this is one of the boxes says that. So this is gonna be the one for the rear mounts. Those are still kind of okay. Have a crack on them, but it's not like the front one. I'm gonna show you just the front, how bad they are, and how it could mislead you into thinking something else. Listen, this is supposed to be pressed in, by the way. Look, it's like that. Looks how it's all ripped up, all torn up, right? Again, it's supposed to be a press fit. No longer pressed. Same thing here. This comes off. All right, the back ones are still kind of there. I opted to bring it down with the steering rack only because that boy was stuck on there so hard. I tried my breaker bar and everything else, and I couldn't make it budge. And if you have a rack, a lift, you can probably just get to it a lot easier than me and leave the rack. I think it'll be easier going back if you had the rack just attached already, but meaning like if you didn't have to remove the rack. So now it's going to be because I only got this small jack and that bigger floor jack there to try to line it back up. But yeah, I mean, not a bad job at all, so far. So now the second phase is to try to get these mounts to cooperate with me and come off. So I'm gonna take a break, and we'll do that later. All right, kind of smoking in here. I have to use a torch to kind of heat up. You see, it's still kind of smoking a little bit. I don't know if it's showing on camera, but yeah, right there, as you can see it. Smoking hot, right? Anywho, so that's what I had to do. Drown it in the oil, help it cool. Anyhow, so that's the sleeve. What I did was I used one of the broken pieces. So the circumference is kind of the same dimension as the sleeve. Sleeve is still a little bit bigger, but if you heat it up to where the metal expands and you give them a good whack with this in there, like so, and a good whack, this is the hammer that I'm using. You don't need to use anything too crazy. That's enough. With the heat, it'll come off. Now I gotta go in there and make sure the bore is completely cleaned up nicely. And then I have to attack the rear ones, which I really don't feel like doing, honestly, but because they're not, well, they're bad, but they're not as bad for sure. They're not nowhere near clunking noises, and I don't even think that it's going to happen. I think the front ones are usually the one to fail, and the rear ones is just while you in there type of repair, you know. Anywho, I just open the garage. It's freaking cold out here, but the smoke was unbearable. So do this in a well ventilated area. I mean, I guess that's just goes without saying, right? So, but as you see, so far, just nothing to it, you know. So if anything, I hope you have the confidence to do it. All right, so the gist of the job is done. It was to replace those two front ones because they were shot and they're in. So I have a ball joint press kit, and I use one of the cups to fit right around the lip right here. That's the metal part. This is rubber, even if it doesn't look like it. It is rubber, okay? So don't try to go and press from here because you're gonna ruin the rubber for sure. There's a good chance it's gonna detach. It takes a tremendous amount of force to drive this one in. So I had to take my hammer literally behind my head, all the way behind my head, with that kind of force and strike it on a flat side to cover more space because I don't want to put a dent in my situation here. And even so, it's still kind of dented. And this is the flat side of the hammer, right? You can tell it's dented. But anyway, so this will fit right around the outer edge, which what you need, and just, I mean, really with force. If it's not going in to help yourself a little bit, what I've done on this side, I didn't do it on that side because I just used brute force and it worked. But this side, because I was trying to be gentle, I took a 36 millimeter, I put it this way because it's kind of, you know, cone shaped. So this side is a little bit, this bottom side is a little bit smaller. So I put it in and I tap it in with the hammer to where it's starting to, you know, really kind of get tight. Then I tap it right, left and right and take it out. Just to create a little bit more kind of stretch inside the metal. Not too much, just a little bit to give me, to get me a start. Then you know, eventually that on top of it and boom. But you got to use really, really strong force. I mean strikes to get this in there. It's not a joke. It's really, really a tight press fit there. So that's why when you go to take it out, definitely you're gonna have to use some fire. It's not gonna wanna come out. Anywho, now it's time to go to the back and do the same thing, but the back is not all the way broken, but it's on its way, as you can see, right? You know, right there. It's a matter of time, so we caught it in the nick of time. So I'm gonna flip this thing back up again, and I'm gonna tap in the middle part. It's gonna detach this part. Then I'm gonna find something that fits there. If the same tool that I was using, which is this, what is it? Well, somewhere down there. If it's gonna fit, I'll use it. If not, I'll find a socket, like one of these axle nut sockets that fits. Okay, this is the tool right here. This is basically the front side that that was broken off because this really fits perfectly there. So I don't know if it's gonna be the same circumference here. If it is, great. We'll use this in the back. See you guys later. All right, city key car is almost ready. It's gonna need an alignment, of course. I just wanted to go over everything we have done. So we replaced the strut brand new, the sway bar link brand new, the lower control arm brand new, okay? On either side, both sides, same thing. Then the CV axle brand new, okay? And also the bushings that were bad on the subframe. I mean, you can't see it, but there's other pictures I'll show you right there inside. And there's a gap right there. Brand new, okay? So everything is back. Just now a matter of putting the tires back, and then you gotta go take it for an alignment. All right. Oh yeah, I fixed this side too. You can see. This is not even hanging anymore, the inner liner and everything else. It looks okay, you know, it's not perfect. I'm not a body shop guy, but at least it looks decent now. You can drive the car without things hanging down, without having tapes all over the place. And that's the car done. Sitting in the garage, chilling, waiting to be picked up. I took it for a test drive. Everything seems to check out. Even did some body work on this side here. Pulled out the panel a little bit. You know, make it look kind of okay. And this is something that's going to need to be done by some professional, but my job is done. Okay.